So, hey, Andre, appreciate you spending a few minutes with us talking about gratitude and being one of the most valuable gifts that an employer can give. Could you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about where you're from.
I'm André D'Amour. I'm here at Stonewall Resort in beautiful West Virginia. But I did spend a large chunk of my career at the in Colorado Springs at a resort there, but I'll tell you, moving to West Virginia is a great location, full of great people and great hospitality here in West Virginia.
Yeah, I love your folks there. I'm a huge fan of the Stonewall team, near and dear to my heart, and super excited to having this conversation with you. So, what are some of the benefits about acknowledging your employees? Anyways, you got some great people there.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many benefits to acknowledging our employees. And really, when I look back at, possibly the career that I had over there and kind of the recognition I received, and really, it's a sense of belonging, a sense of pride every day when you complete, whether it's a single task or a difficult task. But employee recognition is so important. And really what it does, and what I found out through my career, is it really creates a great sense of engagement amongst the employees. And, when recognition comes from leadership, it's great. But when it comes from coworkers and peers, it just takes it to that next level. And really a lot of our focus has been on the importance for our peers to recognize each other for the jobs that they do. Like I said, whether it's a single task or a hard task. But it also, one benefit I found out is it increases communication amongst our team so much. And, in big operations, when you got so many different outlets, once in a while, the communication gets really misconstrued as it goes through all the different ranks and people that it needs to hit. And one thing I noticed is using that communication through recognition, it's able to really streamline that process and get everybody on the same page, working toward the same common goal. And one thing we really pride ourselves on at Stonewall is the fact that we are one team, that we work on the one vision and the one goal that we're trying to achieve.
Oh, that's fantastic. Obviously, money, big motivator out there. But I would also say, sometimes acknowledgement, there are the other things that transcends money. And, it's not saying money's it's not a motivator, but I'm assuming when you do feel that your superiors are supporting you and they appreciate you, I'm assuming that goes a long way.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And like I said, beyond just superiors, the coworkers and everybody kind of promoting everybody around the property and cross department. It's just so awesome when you hear one department talking positively about another area, and it really branches the teamwork, because just like in any operation of hospitality, we can't serve our guests and make it an ultimate working environment without everybody communicating and working together. So many different departments. It doesn't matter your position in the organization. You could be the dishwasher, housekeeper, general manager. We have the evolution of hospitality. It takes us all to work as a team to provide great guest service and create that ultimate working environment.
I love that. Love that. Yeah. So how does that impact morale and productivity anyways?
Oh, well, it definitely increases morale and productivity across the board. One thing it does is help us hold each other accountable as we move forward, really as we set the expectations on how we work together and expect all of us to treat each other. Recognition is something that should just happen on a constant basis. I always say nobody wakes up in the morning to come to work and give somebody a bad day. We can have disagreements throughout the day, but at the end of the day, as long as we're all on the same page and we're able to really work together to increase the engagement to get to the common goal. And a lot of that does happen through recognition, small or big.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, no, that's amazing. Retention. It's finding good help, keeping good help. That's always at the top of our minds. So how does recognition improve or impact the retention?
Well, of course, if somebody likes where they're working and you're able to provide that ultimate working environment, retention is going to happen. And I think one thing that we've seen post-COVID is, a lot of jobs are out there. People don't have to stay in one place for very long anymore. The ability to move from job to job, whether you're motivated by pay or whether you're motivated by the working atmosphere. And the goal is to create the ultimate working atmosphere where once people start, they don't want to leave. And, we really see that retention goes a long way. And who better than to keep it consistent across the board with the peers as they work together? Really that ultimate working environment that I think recognition is able to create helps so much with retention. And I feel like we've been very lucky here at Stonewall that our retention has been very high, especially post-COVID, that we've been able to retain a lot of our teammates who also assist us in creating that ultimate working environment. So many times our teams, they want to be heard about what's going to be best for the organization and how we can improve and create that environment. And as leaders on the property, we got to be open to listening to that, make changes and adjustments. And especially, we've been having a lot of conversations about managing through the generations. We are so different on how we are raised nowadays. And, the internet wasn't around when I was in high school. So now to have internet at our fingertips, it is amazing. And I don't know how we operated without the internet prior. It's funny when we look back and we see kind of where things went. But, we also are able to increase retention through communication using technology with the younger generations. And we've adopted some apps at the property that we've been able to communicate consistently with our employees. We decided as an executive team when we sat down one day that we have to find a different way to branch out and provide communication to all the different generations and how they like to see it, whether, we got an 18-year-old employee or a 75-year-old employee. And I feel like the team has done a very good job with that communication. And I feel like communication is key to retention. The teammates want to know what's going on. They want to know what our goals are, whether it's for the week, the month, or the year. And we got to be able to provide that information to our teammates so that they are engaged and really feel like a part of the organization. And I feel like we've been pretty successful at getting that word out there and increasing the communication so that individuals are engaged. And you know what it does, when we talk about increasing productivity, it also helps us develop our future leaders on the property and, the next generation of leaders. I wish I could say I'm going to be around forever, but unfortunately that's not true. So we have to make sure that our organizations are ready for the future generations and the leadership.
Oh, that's fantastic. I've had the pleasure of getting to know your sales team in particular very well. Julie, Shelley, Robin, and Kelly as well in catering. And they obviously, in particular, Shelley, and I know for a fact has been there for quite some time, whenever I get the pleasure of seeing them on Zoom, they light up. You can just tell that there's something internally in them that they're genuinely happy to be working at Stonewall. They love it. Shelley described a couple of moments of driving onto the property and bringing the kids there. And there's just something so incredibly genuine and powerful about that. So, there's so much to learn in hospitality. I mean, you've got, especially a property like Stonewall, there's so many details and nuances and things to learn. And when you've got high turnover and you've got new faces coming, and you're trying to deliver that level of service when you've got the learning curve in a revolving door, I can imagine that that's going to be a challenge. So having the benefit of having just wonderful people stay with you for so long, I just can't imagine how that impacts everything there at the property.
Well, really, it helps us provide better service to our guests and create that better working environment. Speaking with some of the sales managers you mentioned, when we throw out some ideas, they're very open to taking the ideas and trying to run with it, whether we tried to do it before and failed, or we were successful and we got ways to really add to what we're doing. And the ability to think outside the box within the organization, once you really know the organization, and some of the individuals that you were speaking about have been with the property since it opened back in 2002. And so they got to have seen the project grow and how we were able to expand and not only just grow, financially, but we've been able to grow the guest experience and really focus on what we can do to show our gratitude to the employees. And they're very active in some of our committees that we have here on the property. And really, we bring the employees in and ask them, what do we want to be known for here on the property? We actually pulled in a group of employees who have been here for quite a long time, and we rewrote our guiding principles on the property, which pretty much say, this is how we're going to act, treat each other, and treat our guests. And when we talk about fun, that was one of the most important things to our group of employees, was creating a positive and fun working environment. And, we had an awesome employee celebration yesterday, and one individual won an award. He's part of our ambassador program that we created on the property. And that was strictly due to the positive and fun working environment that this individual was able to create. And this individual had only been with the property about 2 years. But that positive and fun working environment really keeps a great team together. And you can just see it when you go down to the department that he's in. And everybody's just having a great time because of that environment that's created.
That's wonderful. That's fantastic.
It is so important, Corey, that, we get the input from our employees and get them engaged to write how we operate and what we do want to be known for. It really has a great sense of buy-in. And it's great to have the different opinions on whether we need this goal or this goal and how we're going to get there. And, at the end of the day, I think when people can get aligned on their goals, there's definitely a better path to achieve that success and obtain that goal.
That's wonderful. You already mentioned several fantastic ideas on acknowledgement, but I'm sure you've got some others. In fact, I'd mentioned before we got on here, one of which that I'll share with you as well. But anything more that you want to share with ideas?
Yeah, I mean, when we look at some of our employee recognition programs that are pretty standard almost in any industry, when we look at an employee of the month, all right, an employee of the month wins employee of the month in January, and it's so great to celebrate with them. But by the time you get to April, you ask everybody who won employee of the month in January, and it's kind of forgotten at that point.
Right.
Well, I was able to work with some great leaders throughout my career as I grew up in the industry. And we were able to develop an ambassador program. And what this program is, it kind of replaces your employee of the month, your manager of the quarter, and it recognizes the star engaged performers consistently on a program. And we do things, quarterly dinners where they can bring a spouse to see the property and enjoy it as a guest. And we issue some resort credits so they can buy some of our beautiful Stonewall gear that they can wear. And then, we also try to feature them in our weekly employee spotlight that we do weekly. And, that has been very amazing for the property. We find out that they really like to see themselves on social media and kind of what they bring to the property. And it's nice to hear their input, even in the write-up, on what they'd like to see that it's said about them and the property. But the ambassador program has proven to be very successful here on the property, and our employees, I think, really enjoy it and engage in it. And then, we do other things throughout the year. Each month, we got a department that will specifically do an employee celebration day. You know, whether it's decorating our cafeteria or doing a picnic outside for lunch. And then, you know, we do a couple yearly celebrations with employee picnics where we like to bring the families in and really enjoy the beautiful facilities that our guests get to consistently enjoy. And what's really neat about that is when you do that, you also get feedback because now they're looking at our product from the guest perspective. And we'll find so many ideas on how we can improve just through using ourselves to engage as a guest.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. Wonderful. I'd mentioned to you as a neurotic LinkedIn user, you're one of very few people that I see in terms of their team and their staff acknowledging them consistently on LinkedIn. It's some of your highest performing posts out there. So for hotels that are struggling, especially on the LinkedIn, you know, it's a little bit different. It's B2B. So sometimes it's based on the content and things that you're using. It can be a little bit challenging, but without a doubt, properties that share their people, their staff, are their highest engaging posts, and people they love that. You can see that the person responds to it. They'll share it to their own personal network. So kudos to your team because you guys are doing a great job and you're doing it consistently. Often properties, what they'll do is they'll go dark for 3 months and then they'll blast out, you know, just multiple posts. And it's just, that's really not the best strategy. It's when it's consistently done in an intentional and thoughtful manner. So well done to your team there. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. You know, Corey, one way we've been able to keep that consistent is we find the individuals that are passionate about it and they own it and make sure it's done every week. And they find ways to grow it. And, you know, if you can just find that passion there for that one specific area, it takes off and it flourishes.
You are so right. When somebody finds joy in doing it, regardless of even being compensated or not, if it's intrinsically, if it's in them that they love it, they enjoy doing it, the likelihood of success or fulfillment, it's just alignment. When somebody's tasked something, it doesn't fit their personality. Like for instance, these videos that we do, I have my own hang up of putting myself out there by myself on a video, but I love these conversations. So, you know, obviously when I invite people on, I'll get either the people that really they enjoy it, they again gravitate to it, and they're just like, yeah, I can't wait to be back on. Versus those that are, you know, maybe a little bit more introverted. It's not something that they really enjoy, and that alignment's not there. So I could not agree with you more. When you're finding those individuals that they're just passionate about that, so that's a huge element of success. Absolutely. Well, Andre, this has been a fantastic conversation. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Again, kudos to your team. We love partnering with you guys. You guys are doing some amazing things, and can't wait to have you on for another conversation. Hopefully you'll join us then.
Yep, I look forward to the follow-up, Corey. Thank you.
Thanks, Andre. Take care.